Hi everyone, this is Angela with LostInReviews.com and I'm here for a big week of Blue Monday. We have a lot of movies, so some of them, particularly we have a big stack of Disney films, so I'll just kind of fly through those. They must have cracked open the vault a little early this year. First up though, I'll start out with probably one of my favorites this week, Good Will Hunting. This is the 15th anniversary edition, which really makes me feel older because I remember when it first came out. We got a really good restoration. I mean, I'm not sure there's really much they even needed to do with it only being 15 years old, but it looks great and sounds great on Blu-ray. And of course, this is one of those films that until it came out, there was the original Blu-ray, which you can probably still find in places, but this is one I would recommend going out and getting and looking for the 15th anniversary edition because the first one doesn't have nearly all these special features that this one has. This one has audio commentary with Gus Van Sant talking throughout the film, and of course I love him and I love his work, so I love what he has to say. There's also an extended featurette with Matt Damon talking about writing the film and how he worked on it. There's all kinds of talking head interviews with the cast and crew and everyone, just how they're working together, and there's a ton of deleted scenes with audio commentary too, so that's always cool because you can kind of figure out why they deleted them. So one of the coolest features on this though that we've been trying to kind of recommend that people do more often is when there's a film that wins an Oscar of any kind, especially Best Picture, put that like video montage on the Blu-ray and DVD when it comes out, and they listened. So if you want to watch the montage of when they won the awards, that's on here. So that's a really cool feature that I think that hopefully they start doing more with films, because you know, as time goes by you kind of forget what movies win what and who they were up against, and it kind of puts it into perspective just how great that film was. So I'm going to recommend buying this one. It's a fantastic film. It still holds up to today, and it's one of my favorites to watch, especially like on, you know, those rainy days there's nothing to do. Just pop this in because it's a great film. Next up, we're going to go through a big slur of Disney films. So first up we have Tigger, the Tigger movie. It's a Bounce-erific special edition. So this is a lot of fun, obviously. I grew up watching Winnie the Pooh when I was real little, and this has a lot of little shorts of Winnie the Pooh on there in addition to the film. So I never actually saw the Tigger movie when it came out because I was kind of a little too old by then, but still great for kids. It's a lot of fun. It's really innocent, and I always loved the art and the way that they actually drew Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and all that. So it's got a really soft glow to it, and it looks really great. So this is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, and that's what all of these will be. And so it's got a lot of stuff in here. You'll see it's got all these books and things, and then we have the Blu-ray and then the DVD up under here. So you know, you've always got another version you can put in your car for your kid to watch. So I'm going to recommend probably picking this one up because this is, you know, there's so many kids films that kids want, but maybe you don't want to sit and watch them over and over again. And this, I'm not necessarily saying this is something you're going to want to sit and watch over and over again, but at least it was something that has kind of a childhood draw for us, and it was really cute, and it's kind of soft-spoken, so it's not going to like wake you up if you're taking a nap. So go pick that one up. Next up we have on Disney special edition Lady and the Tramp 2. I didn't know there was Lady and the Tramp 2. I only saw the first one, and this does not include the original Lady and the Tramp. So this is just about the second one, which is called Scamp's Adventure, which I guess is their kids. We've got the Blu-ray and DVD again, and I hate these little side clips that they put on these Disney films, especially that it's for kids. I just know that they're going to break them off immediately. We've got the DVD and Blu-ray again. Special features, and this is going to go for pretty much all of these Disney films. A lot of songs, a lot of sing-alongs, and a lot of just like, there's a few little making-of featurettes on this one has a making-of about this movie, but there's so many just songs and sing-alongs and things for kids to watch. Another cute movie, maybe just to rent though. I don't know if it's really, it doesn't hold up to the original by any means. So next up, another old one from my childhood, the Aristocats. I don't know if you guys remember that. I remember liking it when I was a kid, but it's a musical, so it's got a lot of songs in there. Now I love musicals, I love songs, but I'm thinking for those parents out there, if you want your kids singing, this is definitely a good film to pick up because they're going to be singing all day long. But again, if you're one of those parents that doesn't like having those Disney song stuck in their head, this is going to be one you're going to want to avoid. Yay, they didn't put that little side clip on this one. So this is the DVD and Blu-ray again. Lots of special features on this one. So, and most of them are songs, and there's sing-alongs, and there's music videos, and just all the whole thing. There's also little featurettes about the film, which Disney always does a great job of kind of showcasing how they made the film, what it went through, when they can show little artistry, drawings of, you know, from start to finish. Those are always really, really great to watch. I don't know that kids really get into watching those, but as an adult, I'm intrigued by watching those. So this is a good film also. So much stuff on there. Probably worth the buy because there's just so many things on there. For me, I would probably just rent it for a kid. But then again, you know, with all the songs, it would be a great one to just have them watching over and over again. So, rent or buy. Next up, we have one that's kind of newer. Disneynature's been putting out an animal film kind of once a year at least. There was like African cats last year. Now we have Chimpanzee, which follows a family of chimpanzees, especially one named Oscar, and they kind of film them. It's a family of chimps, but they make a story around it, and they voice over what's going on, and you know, tear at your heartstrings because of their environment being torn down around them and that whole thing. So I love these films. I absolutely love them. But they do make me cry, so you have to watch out for that. This has two discs, the Blu-ray and the DVD again, and there's a lot of special features on here that are different from the Blu-ray to the DVD. On the DVD, you have special features about like different charities and organizations that maybe you could reach out to if you wanted to help save chimpanzees and help make a difference in the world, which I love that they include that stuff on here for kid films, because it's starting about young to get them to care about something. And then the Blu-ray has special features like deleted scenes and behind the scenes, and there's a really cool featurette about how they filmed it outside of what you actually see. So it's called On Location. So I like those because you're watching the film and you're watching just the chimpanzees and you're watching just the family and you're hearing just a story about them. But watching the On Location special feature, it takes the camera outside of that one angle and you get to see the whole area of where they're filming and the cast and crew and kind of like what kind of rough situations they had to go through to sit and get this shot and film it. So I really like that. It's really cool. I would say buy this. These Disneynature films, I have kept every single one of them that they've sent me because, I mean, you know, I just figure if there's ever an apocalypse and I lose the Disney Channel, I have hours upon hours of Disney, Discovery Channel anyway, that I could watch here, that have plenty of stuff to watch. So that's a buy for me. Okay, two more Disney films. Next up, Pocahontas 1 and 2. I like that they're doing this double pack because especially when there's a film coming out, maybe your kid wants to see Pocahontas 2, but you're like, hey, there was a first one. You've got them both on here. This is kind of a weird case. I did not realize this. We've got on the Blu-ray, we've got Pocahontas 1 and 2. And then the DVD, it just said Pocahontas. So I was like, okay, that's weird. They're only putting Pocahontas on DVD. And then I'm looking at the back on these special features. I'm like, why does it say I have a third disc? Huh, because it's clipped underneath this one. That is just danger written all over it for your kids. So if you do get something like this, just be careful not letting your little, 4 or 5-year-olds get too involved with these cases, because I do see some discs being cracked in that case. I guess they're just trying to save some money with how they package them, and it does work. I mean, if you take care of it, that's going to be fine. But I just was kind of like, that's really weird. So the DVDs, there's not much for special features. There's just like a little music and a little making up for each of them. But the Blu-ray is where you have like all the special features. So you've got, again, you've got more songs, you've got music videos, you've got sing-alongs, and then there's some commentary, which is kind of odd to have on a Disney film. So audio commentary. This though, there's a lot of stuff. I would recommend picking this one up, especially because you get 2 movies for the price of 1. So Pocahontas 1 and 2. And again, these are all out. They're all available. So just pick them up whenever you can. Have a good slumber party for your kids, and they'll have plenty of movies to watch. Another double pack coming out for Disney. We've got 35th anniversary, a Blu-ray and DVD collection of The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under. So I don't know if you guys remember this. I remember watching one or both of these when I was younger. Such a cute film. Right away I just want to say buy it because it was so cute. Again, we've got the Blu-ray, and then the DVD has the 2 discs under there, so you've got to be careful with that. But you can tell, I guess I should have known. It's got a good amount of weight to it that I should have known there's 3 discs in there. This has a ton of songs on there. We've got deleted scenes and deleted songs and just, oh my gosh, like when I just look down the list here, it's just like song, song, song. So, and there's making of. There's also making of, but they have those on the DVDs. So you've got plenty of options for special features to go through. And this was just, these are such cute films. They don't quite make them like this anymore, do they? For Disney films. A lot of fun. Go ahead and pick this one up. Your kids are going to like that, and maybe if you're just a big kid inside, you always wanted this one. This is a cute one to have. Okay, so we got through the Disney. Now we can go to real movies. So we've got next up Blue Like Jazz, which was an indie film that, as far as I know, did a festival circuit. I remember it being at South by Southwest this previous year. It got picked up pretty quickly because it's such a great story and it's shot really well. If you don't know, the story of Blue Like Jazz is about a young kid who grew up very religious in like a little rural county in Texas, and he was even like part of the church, like part of, you know, the altar boy. Or I'm not into all this church stuff, so I'm not really sure what it was. Kind of like a big role in the church every single week. So he's getting ready to head off to college, and he was just supposed to go down the road to where his mom got him into some religious college, but his dad, who's very, I don't know if he was actually atheist, but he was very against religion, of any kind of organized religion, and he wanted his son to just experience life outside of the church. So he went and pulled strings and got him into one semester of this really hipster indie college up in Oregon, or up in Seattle. So at first, you know, he's like, oh, Dad, I'm not going to go to that. I'm going to go to this college because it's what I need. But there's an incident where he comes across, he finds out that his mom was actually having an affair with a married man within the church that they're going to, and so he gets really angry, you know, like high schooler boys do, and he packs his car and he just drives overnight and just goes ahead and goes to this college out in Seattle. It turns out to be really great for him because this is seriously the coolest college that's ever existed. Like, I feel like after this movie comes out, there's probably double the size of enrollment for this college, because it is a real college. I just can't remember the name of it right now. Reed College is what it says, up in Seattle. So he makes a lot of good friends. It opens his eyes to other things outside of religion. He kind of casts it aside throughout the film because he, for one, is embarrassed. He doesn't want to get, you know, typecast, I guess, as the religious freak. But he also just starts to question his judgment in that. And I think that's good. It's a healthy dose of judgment that he has for what he grew up with one-sided the whole time. So, you know, I'm not going to give it away in the end, but there's a kind of a controversial ending depending on who you are. You know, if you're maybe highly atheist, maybe you won't like the ending, or maybe you will, or maybe if you're religious, you'll be like, alright, or, you know. It's an interesting ending. I would definitely recommend picking it up. At least renting it. And special features, there's a ton of special features. There's the featurettes, you know, the making of, what they had to go through to get it made and funded. And then there's little talking head pieces with the actors and the cast and the crew, which there's some really great cast in this film. I really liked it. I'm probably just going to say it's a strong rent, though. As much as I did enjoy watching it, I don't know that I'd watch it again. Because it was fun to watch, you know, if there's nothing to do, you sit down and watch it. It's not really a film you're going to sit down with maybe a group of people and watch, and it doesn't really have a whole lot of humor in it, but it is a good film, and I would definitely recommend checking out Blue Like Jazz. Okay, next up, we got a little bit of fun here. If you're into zombies, which I always am, this movie is called Remains. Now, when I saw this cover, when it got sent to me, I'm like, oh great, here's a terrible B film that's going to be just ridiculous. Like, I'm just going to want to have a drink while I'm watching it. Well, maybe you won't have a drink watching it, but it's still a lot of fun. So this takes place in Reno, outside of Las Vegas, you know, and there's this group of people that are in a hotel. It's just focused on a small group of people. There's some kind of thing that goes off, some kind of new molecular test thing. It doesn't matter what it is, but what it ends up doing is killing the world, basically. and it turns everyone into zombies. But there's a select few group of people who it didn't affect because for one reason or another they were in a basement, like getting some storage supplies, or like the two main characters in this, they were slipping away down to some kind of like a bomb shelter so they could get it on real quick. So this happens while they're doing that. There's this, you know, it's almost like an atom bomb that goes off across the city and out further than that. You never go outside of this city, so you actually don't know if the rest of the world is like this. So because, you know, TVs are shut off, there's no news stations, nothing like that. It's just within Reno that you start seeing all these zombies coming around. I had a lot of fun with this film. I really did. Like, I didn't think I was going to like it at all, and I got into the action. Like, when there were zombies getting ready to, like, jump on people, I would be like, oh no, you have to run. But the downside I had to it is the zombies didn't look very good. I mean, the makeup for them was really terrible. It almost looked like they had just pancakes thrown on their face. So, and like those contacts that make their eyes look pale. That was basically it. So you had to give yourself a little bit of imagination because the story was well thought out, I thought, and the character development was good, and even the actors playing them were good. But just the makeup, not very good, and then there was a little bit of CG that they used here and there, which was obvious, you know, because it was low budget. But I had a lot of fun with this. And then there's special features, there's bloopers on here, which I just want to mention real quick. I thought it was funny. There's one of the guys in there is getting ready to do a scene, and you know, they're doing the little clappy arms in front of him, and he says, "Don't make me go Christian Bale on you." So I just thought that was funny. Usually bloopers, they're hit or miss, you know. Everyone who watches here knows that a lot of times I'm really disappointed with bloopers. So anyway, all in all, this is a fun movie. Remains, I did not expect to like it, but I really did. This is one I would keep around and watch on nights when you're having friends together and you want to have, like, let's watch something really cheesy and have some drinks. This is perfect for that. This is like movies to drink to #1. Remains! Okay. Next up we have Marley, a documentary about Bob Marley. This is another film that played at a festival, South by Southwest, and probably other festivals around. It's just the one I'm aware of. This is a documentary about Bob Marley's life and what he went through. So it's kind of interesting because not a lot of people know about Bob Marley, and you know that he was in previous bands before he became the legend himself. And you've got a lot of interviews and talking head interviews with family members and friends and people from Jamaica who just who grew up with him, who know him more than we ever could. So it's really cool to kind of divulge into his life and his stories. And then in between all these interviews, you're seeing a lot of different live performances that they have recordings of that they kind of spliced in there with it. As special features would also include extended interviews and extended kind of little concerts and stories and stuff. Really, really cool, interesting story. It's really heartwarming, and I really enjoyed it. I would recommend picking it up, especially if you're a fan of Bob Marley. I know there's some people out there who are really big fans. This is a good addition to your collection. If you've never known anything about Bob Marley, it's a good one to rent and pick up because you're going to learn a lot about the man and you know, where his songs and inspiration came from. So just that's all it is, just a DVD, I mean a Blu-ray. Magnolia doesn't always overload their stuff on here, but you do have quite a bit of special features to keep you entertained. So I would say pick it up, or at least a strong rent, because that was a good one. And then last but not least, we have a big-ass TV show here, which if you go by weight alone, which we like to sometimes, you know, it's pretty hefty. So this is on Cinemax, Season 1 of Strikeback. I had never heard of this show before it was sent to us, and this is a dude show through and through. We've got two dudes who are like from CIA special ops kind of thing, and they get discharged from the army right before Iraq happens, and then they're after terrorists, they're on their own, and they're all rogue and shit, and lots of guns and shit blowing up and muscles and dirt. I mean, it's perfect for any guy. I know a few guys that this would be perfect for, that they would really get a kick out of it. It's not for me. I know there are definitely some women out there who enjoy watching these shows because they like watching the big hunky guys doing their thing on TV, but this, like, if I'm gonna watch big hunky guys, I'd rather watch the men of the Olympics. So this is a fun show for guys. Got a lot of actions. a lot of action, I mean, 10 episodes, and you've also got a digital download and a DVD included in here for you to watch. And then special features, of course, I mean, it's loaded with stuff because there's all kinds of commentaries and interviews and just, I mean, you name it. With a TV show, the sky is the limit with all kinds of stuff that they can go through. But the focus is the discs of the show. So you're mainly focused on just the show itself. So Strikeback, again, really good film, I mean show for guys, not for me, so I'm going to say maybe just rent it. And that is it for this week. I already know I have more piling up behind me, so stay tuned for more Blue Monday releases. Thanks. Bye.